From the Chocolate Mountains to the Sea of Cortez, all along the border on a Thursday night, it's exciting Imperial Valley football on VSN, the Valley Sports Network. For Vic Carrillo, who couldn't make it tonight and hopefully will make it next week, and for Butch Morales, our guest color commentator, this is John Moreno coming to you live from Ward Field in Calexico, where the Brawley Wildcats and the Calexico Bulldogs get it on in this last league game for Calexico and the second to the last league game for the Brawley Wildcats, who are coming in tonight after a big victory at Imperial. And with me tonight is Butch Morales. Butch, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Filling in here for Vic. Vic, hope to see you in here next week. So I'm excited. Week 9. Everybody's playing on all their cylinders here, and you know, you got some bumps and bruises, but you know, you got to get through the season. And I'm excited to see the Brawley Wildcats take on the Calexico Bulldogs at home. And hopefully it'll be an exciting game. It'll be a tight game, something you could enjoy for those viewers watching tonight. I welcome you tonight to enjoy this nice game, and hopefully it'll be competitive. I'm looking forward to see both quarterbacks tonight play. Ethan Gutierrez, fourth-year starter. He started as a freshman. I'm looking to see if they open it up and throw the football tonight. And Sean Torres, who had been a little bit under the weather and a little bit injured, but it looks like he came back last week and looking better, full of running and throwing the ball at the same time. Real good athlete, and also has his top running back who is going to see some downhill action running the ball, which is Carranza, number 42. He runs the ball extremely hard downhill, so he has 714 yards rushing, and then you have their plethora of receivers. They could go to any of these guys tonight. Makai Washington, who is their lead leader in receptions with 493, 5 touchdown receptions as well. Then we have also Brian Porras, which is a sophomore, 248 yards in receiving with a couple of touchdowns. So they bring, you know, a variety of different athletes that could score at any given time. And also the big tight end, Robert Platt, which is also a junior. He goes both ways. Defensively, he plays the linebacker defensive end position and a tight end. So like I mentioned, they're going to have to bring it tonight after a big victory. I'm curious to see how they're going to do. You play Imperial and you let it all out in the football field. I want to see how they react tonight, and hopefully they come out and play their best. But it's extremely hard on a short week. They've exhausted all their energy last week, so we'll see how competitive they are tonight.
And on the other side of the ball, you've got Calexico, who's had an issue with quarterbacks. You know, the injured David Esqued, who got injured after, I think, the second or third game of the season, and then Sean Torres came in, and then he gets injured in one of the recent games. I think it was Holtville. And they bring in Jesse Silva, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Julian Silva.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to see Sean Torres tonight. Sean Torres, who's racked up 516 passing yards. So he has been the main guy for Calexico, only a junior, only a sophomore, but a southpaw, which is different. We see a lot of right-handed quarterbacks.
He's also very athletic too. He's a sophomore. You know what? One of the things that I was told from last week, he wasn't starting, and realized that they needed him, and he decided, Coach, put me in. I'm ready. After being a little bit injured, he decided to take upon himself to that. That's what you need in a quarterback. The team rallies behind that. As a leader, you're expected to be out there. And like I mentioned, he's a sophomore. He could run. He could throw. So like I mentioned, I'm looking forward to see what he brings tonight.
And so we're looking also at the running attack by the Calexico Bulldogs, who come out of a double wing, sometimes utilize the jet sweep. Zeus Pradis with 973 yards for the season is the one to watch, along with Leo Canchola and Abraham Andres Castro. Leo Canchola with 297, just short of 300, and then Abraham Castro with 323. But we might look at the air through from Torres to Andrew Rivera.
Yeah, he's filling in tonight for Mr. what's the name? Marco Esquer, who is ill tonight and won't be able to suit up. So I'm looking forward. Andrew Rivera plays really strong on the defensive side, but is a great athlete and is capable of filling in for him. So I want to see what he is capable of doing tonight. So it's exciting football.
Over the middle, a beautiful pass is caught. Touchdown to number 27. And this is hopefully an exciting game. And I'm going back to the year 2000 when the last time Calexico, I can check out the huge selection of sunglasses, sandals, and street clothes. That's Driscoll's at State and Imperial in El Centro. And by Burgers and Beer in El Centro, open 7 days a week. Come watch the VSN Game of the Week at Burgers and Beer. And kicking off for Nathan Urbano and back to receive. It'll go back to
That's Frankie Loera Rodriguez.
number 13. Movement, 5-yard penalty.
John, that cost them a lot against Central. That false start and offsides, they had about maybe 5 or 6 or 7 of those type of penalties. They can't afford that, especially when they're the underdog. They need to play a clean, smart football game tonight.
I can't agree with you more, Butch. 10 yards knocked off and it's almost intercepted as they underthrew Canchola coming out of the backfield.
The Bulldogs do not look in sync, John. They need to somehow regroup, like I mentioned, punt it off, and hopefully they could stop them from scoring.
Last week for homecoming, but I got to thank Willie Paz, who's a Calexico High graduate, Mando Montoya, a Calexico High graduate, Victor Lara, Victor Jaime, Jose Manjarres, Carlos Rivera, a Calexico grad, Jesse Flores. These are part of the M&O grounds team that take pride in getting this field ready and making it look like the jewel of the valley.
It's beautiful, John. They did an outstanding job. Kudos to them, and it looks like, a college-type atmosphere, college-type football field, if you will. Great job, guys.
It's turned things around. When you take pride in your work, it really shows. So 10:57 to go first quarter. Bulldogs on a 4th and long. Luis Martinez punting from his end zone. And Daniel Camilo standing at the Bulldog 45. And he'll get it, a high end-over-end punt, but not much distance. It takes a Bulldog bounce, and it'll be fielded right at the 39 where Brawley will take over.
Number 17, Esteban Esquer, downed it. So speaking to their defensive coordinator this morning, Leo Pacheco, I asked him, what are the keys for you to be competitive and have a chance to win tonight? And one of the things he had mentioned is, we got a gang tackle. That number 40, what is he, running back for? 42.
Tanner Carranza.
Carranza runs downhill, runs hard. You can't afford to tackle him by yourself. Everybody's got to be able to come up and deliver a tackle and help out each other.
Doubles with Carranza, the lone setback. Ethan Gutierrez out of the shotgun. Tanner Carranza right up the middle, and he's taking people with him as he gets a first down, picks up 15 yards, and takes it to the Calexico 25-yard line.
The other key, John, is these defensive linemen have to be able to put pressure and make tackles on the line of scrimmage. They got to be able to get to Gutierrez, contain them, make sure he doesn't get out of the pocket, because he could hurt you with his feet as well as throwing.
So a 1st and 10 from the 25 going in for the Wildcats. Carranza Gutierrez coming out of doubles. Ethan Gutierrez would hold the snap.
Not a good start for the Bulldogs, John. They have to be able to, be able to move the ball in offense and, like I mentioned, keep their offense off the field and their own defense off the field.
You figure that this is a mental game now. This is league. This is our last league game for the Calexico Bulldogs. And Nathan Urbano with a point after.
It's good.
And we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
Reducir el uso de energía durante el verano es más importante que nunca. Este verano, IID le anima a hacer su parte al ajustar su termostato a 78 grados o más, evitar usar electrodomésticos principales de 4 a 9 p.m. y apagar luces innecesarias. Pero aún hay más. IID ofrece un número de oportunidades de ahorro de energía. Conozca nuestros consejos de ahorro de energía en iid.com. Trabajemos juntos para estar frescos y para ahorrar energía este verano.
Nathan Urbano kicking off for the Brawley Wildcats.
And we have fielding the kickoff will be Frankie Loera Rodriguez, number 13.
At the 11-yard line, bringing it up the field, going to the right side, and gets pretty decent field position. He takes it to the 34-yard line where the Bulldogs will start 1st and 10.
The Bulldogs have to settle down and relax and run the offense like they've been accustomed to all year long. They're averaging 31 points per game, John. So they're able to score and drive the football. So hopefully this will be a better possession for the Bulldogs.
So 1st and 10, Calexico. Pradis in the backfield, Sean Torres. Canchola, again, we've got more movement. Wait a minute, what was the call there? False start.
Somebody on that coaching staff needs to call a timeout and settle them down. Somebody needs to take ownership of the team and lead and calm everybody's nerves down.
So 1st and 15. The ball back inside the 20, inside the 30 to 29. Prades, let's go with your bread and butter, running right into the defensive line and picking up 2 yards.
And with the tackles, the linebacker Chris Camillo, who is a junior, John. He is their best linebacker, in my opinion. He's a junior coming back next year and is leading the team in tackles as well. I want to say he has about 63 tackles so far this year. So he filled in the hole really well, plugged it up, and was there to make the tackle. Good job.
2nd and 13 coming up. The ball at the 31.
We haven't introduced the starting defense for the Brawley Wildcats. We'll start off with number 17, linebacker Robert Platt. Number 18, Gutierrez, linebacker. Other linebackers, Corrales, number 24, and Chris Camillo, who just did that tackle. I'll go ahead and introduce everybody else here shortly. Oh, with the timeout, we could keep going. Defensive line, we have Casares, number 32, number 44, Van Diver, who's a senior, number 55 at the lead defensive line as well, Julius Diaz, and then number 66, Castillo is the other defensive lineman. On the backfield, you have the defensive back number 2, Damian Abarca, and number 5, Makai Washington, number 6, Daniel Camillo, and number 12, Torres. And one other guy I missed, which is Duarte, number 72. He also is a defensive lineman.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Imperial Valley College, founded in 1962, a proud sponsor of VSN's live stream for all Imperial Valley High School sports, IVC, fostering excellence in education for 60 years. So the Bulldogs coming off a timeout with 8:16 to go, first quarter, down 7-0 against the vaunted Brawley Wildcats. With Sean Torres out of the shotgun, Canchola in motion. What's going? This is
Another false start, John.
wow. This is how many false? That's been 5 false starts, and this is just the first quarter. And we just called a time. I bet the coaches are frustrated that this is happening.
These mistakes, you cannot afford to make them.
No, you absolutely not. Not in a league game. Not this late in the season.
Not if you want to be competitive, John.
So Bulldogs lose another 5 yards. And now they're back at the 26-yard line with a 2nd and 18. They're coming out of the huddle. Sean Torres, Rivera split to this side, along with Benjamin Rodriguez. Sean Torres, quick pass, looking for Rivera, running a seam route, and he wasn't ready. He didn't turn around.
The timing, the rhythm for their offense currently is not there. They need to, once again, be calm, poise, and under control, and just like in practice, they keep on running it. Eventually, they'll get into a rhythm, but they need to complete a small, quick pass, get a good run. They need something to spark up that offense.
Absolutely, they need it to run like second nature. So a 3rd and long for Calexico. Torres coming this way, looking for Rivera, and overthrows Rivera. And we'll have to set up a punting situation now.
That was a good job by the outside linebacker, number 24, Corrales. Read it, stepped underneath the receiver. Sean Torres had to throw over him, and unfortunately, it came incomplete. Just, once again, the timing's not there.
So Luis Martinez punting to Camilo, standing at his own 44. And this time it's got a good distance, takes a Bulldog bounce, and will go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tonight's game is brought to you by RDO Equipment. Sells the best brands like John Deere, Vermeer, Topcon, Rich Gren Group, and more. On State Route 86 in Imperial, whether you're a seasoned pro in precision ag or just getting started, RDO Equipment Company is what you need for your success in the field. And by Esquer Realty, your hometown real estate office in Calexico and serving the entire Imperial Valley for 30 years. Go see Mark Esquer at Esquer Realty. Give him a call at 357-9707. Esquer Realty, the mark of excellence. So 1st and 10 for the Brawley Wildcats, back at their own 35-yard line. Ethan Gutierrez.
John, I have a feeling that Brawley's going to air it out more so tonight than they have in the past several weeks.
He's giving it to Tanner Carranza. Carranza picks up 8 yards and takes it to the Brawley 44.
But when you have a number 42 running the ball as hard as he runs, and he's gaining you 8 yards, you're really not needed to run the ball. To throw the ball. Just give it to him.
3 things can happen when you pass, and 2 of them are bad.
Just introducing the defensive team for the Bulldogs here. At linebacker, Troy Marine. Linebacker, Pedro Rioseco. Carlos Hernandez at the other linebacker position. Thomas Ibarra at the defensive line. Diego Gurriola, defensive line, and Luis Alcala at the defensive line as well. I'll introduce the remaining kids in just a bit.
2nd and 2 from the 44. Gutierrez stepping up.
He's elusive, he's fast, and he's smart. He's a great leader and could throw the ball. So you have the defense on their heels, not knowing whether he's going to pass or give it to the running back. He elected to just keep it and got enough for the first down.
6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes to play first quarter. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Bulldog 49.
I'm curious if he has the ability to change the plays on the line of scrimmage. He called an audible possibly there.
A swing pass to Robert Platt, and he's jumping, but there's flags on the play, and looks like he's got pretty good, close to a first down.
The refs are getting together here. They see what the flag was about. It is always another advantage, John, when you have a kid that's been playing quarterback for 4 years, understands the offense, the ins and out. He's another coach on the field as a quarterback. He's able to see something and recognize it and change the play on the line of scrimmage. He was able to do that, completed a short pass to his tight end or his slot receiver, a quick swing route, was able to complete it and get positive yards enough for the first down. So that's how you continue to drive and keep their defense on the field so they could get tired.
But I think it's been more than 4 years, because I think as Pop Warner, Brawley utilizes the same type of veer offense at the lower level. So, he's been doing it for maybe 6-8 years.
And speaking of Pop Warner or youth football, AYF, a big shout out to all the coaches and leaders out for Brawley. You have Ryan Revelar, who is doing an outstanding job with the youth program over there. And then you have at 760, where my kids play, Anthony Hellam, and his coaching staff down there is about to start, playoff for the youth football. So I'm excited to see how they fare here in the playoffs the next several weeks.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Bulldog 39-yard line. Coming out of doubles with Ethan Gutierrez. Fakes the dive. Going deep to the left side. Looks like it may be a pass interference, but the pass is caught by number 4. That's Brandon Porras. A big gain for the Wildcats in the red zone inside the 10 at the 9-yard line of Calexico.
That's the son of Brian Porras, who played in the 90s. He was a linebacker, outstanding linebacker for the Calexico Bulldogs.
Yeah, him and his brother played that 1 year. I think they were the class. One brother was
97, I believe.
97, 98, 99. Yeah,
somewhere on that.
They were linebackers, and Brian now works in Calexico.
He's a police officer there.
So a 1st and goal for the Wildcats with 5.5 minutes to go first quarter, knocking on the Bulldog door.
That was a good play by Gutierrez, who has the continuity with his receivers, John, and is able to just throw it up and expects his receivers to go up and get it. Good catch by the receiver there, being aggressive with the ball.
Carranza. Not much there, as the Bulldog defense was there. Diego Gurola in there helping out on the stop.
And Thomas Ibarra was there to contribute as well. And going back to gang tackling, you got to get those linebackers and linemen to gang tackle him down, put him down.
2nd and goal from the 9-yard line for the Wildcats. 4.5 minutes to go first quarter. Under center, Gutierrez. Quick pitch. Camilo, left side. He'll pick up 4 yards. Daniel Camilo with a quick pitch by Gutierrez.
And Pedro Rioseco was in there for the tackle. Number 12, he's undersized, but he's got a heart of a lion, John. He is not afraid to sacrifice his body and make that tackle. So good job by Rioseco.
3rd and goal from the 5. The Wildcats on the prowl here at Ward Field. got trips to the left side. Going to go that direction with Tanner Carranza. Tanner is knocked out of bounds. A bunch of gang tackling over there.
They swarm to the ball there.
Pedro Rioseco, Diego Gurrola, Ishmael Burgess. They got to do that every play.
It's a 4th and about 1. Interesting to see. Are they going for it?
Oh, yeah. They know they can try for the field goal, but it's a little over 3 minutes to go.
It's a big play for the Bulldogs. Big momentum builder if they're able to stop them.
And I put money that they're going to go with Tanner. And they do. And does he stretch over?
He's short, John.
They hold him at the 1 yard line.
Good stop for the Bulldogs.
That is a mental boost for Calexico on that goal line stand.
They just now need to settle down on the offensive side of the ball. They're antsy. They're false starting. They're not able to get in that rhythm that they need to get into. They just need 1 good positive yard and get rolling to move the ball.
You sound like a coach, Butch. You sound like you want to get on the sideline and tell it to them.
Well, I mean, you can't make those mental mistakes.
No.
They practice it every single day, so there's no need for that to happen.
We don't want to see another false start by Calexico. They've had enough for the season already. 1st and 10, way back at the 1 yard line. Sean Torres out of the shotgun in the end zone. Pradis with the ball. Pounding his way up the middle. Trying to get some breathing room. He does pick up 5 yards.
Tough
and
run.
Takes it to the 6.
That was a tough run. Good, strong run, and on the tackle was number 12. I think he came in. Aiden Torres, who had a huge interception last week against the Imperial Tigers. Not only is he showing he has the capability of going up for the ball against the Tigers, he's able to come downhill and make a tackle.
And that was a penalty against Brawley, giving the Bulldogs a 1st down. Wait a minute. It's a 15-yarder, so actually it looks like a 5-yarder. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the 10 for Calexico.
That's what they needed, some positive yards. Now they could kind of get into a groove and get into a rhythm and hopefully move the ball
in a positive direction with Zeus Pradis in the handoff. He's got a sweep coming this way. But 64 and 31 for the Wildcats. We're there in on the stop. That's Jack Joaquin de Loera and Chris Camilo.
And number 23 as well, John Matthew Moreno, read it well and was in there in the tackle as well.
He'll pick up 4 yards and take it to the 25. With a minute 48 to go in this first quarter. Sean Torres and Zeus Pradis. Canchola in motion. Pradis will get the handoff. And not till he gets stopped by number 31. That's Chris Camilo.
He's a underclassman as well, a junior. I'm looking forward to him coming back next year and see how he does. He is, once again, their leading tackler, was able to read him and plug that hole and step up and put a shoulder pad on him and wrap up. Great tackle by Camilo. The offensive line for the Bulldogs, John, they have to be confident that they could run against these Brawley Wildcats. They've done a great job all year long. They just need to be mentally strong.
3rd and 7. Shovel pass. Canchola. And there's a penalty flag in the backfield.
Looks like a possible holding, yes.
So that'll nullify any gain. In fact, they'll lose yardage on that one.
Number 17, Robert Platt, was in position to make the tackle, but he was held.
So did they decline it and get a 4th down? I believe they did. They're going to decline it, get a 4th down, and the Bulldogs have to punt. So the punting unit comes onto the field. with 46 seconds to go first quarter.
Still can't seem to get in sync in a rhythm. Offense, it's about getting a rhythm. When you're a quarterback and playing that position, you feel confident when you could run the ball positive yards and throw the ball. They got to mix it up as well.
So Luis Martinez, this time it's a pretty good punt. Camilo will not return it, although he runs towards it, and the Bulldogs will down it right at the 41.
That's number 17, Esteban Esqueda, again with good coverage.
So 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Bulldogs did an outstanding job holding the Brawley offense at the 1 yard line. But Brawley has the football now. Tanner Carranza, Ethan Gutierrez coming out of doubles with Robert Platt left side. Camilo split out to the far side. And Gutierrez will look to this direction. And the pass is caught there by number 4, Makai Washington.
It's 12 yards on the play.
And they'll get a first down as they cross midfield and they spot the ball at the Bulldog 47.
Great display of what we call a 3-step rhythm drop. Meaning on a rhythm, you don't hitch, meaning you don't come forward. You go 1, 2, and 3, and the ball's out of your hands, allowing that timing and the ball to be delivered as the receiver's turning around, and a complete pass doesn't give the defense a chance to react to that pass. Got enough for the first down.
So it's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network. We had a little technical difficulty. You missed a pass to Brandon Porras, but it was called back on an offensive pass interference. Brandon Porras had caught it inside the 5 around the 3 yard line, but now Brawley with a penalty. The ball is placed inside the 40 at the 38 yard line for the Wildcats. A 1st and 25 as we start the second quarter of play. Trips to the left side.
They're going man-to-man defense here.
Platt, Washington, and Camilo. Gutierrez out of the gun, pressure, blitz, gets rid of it, and throws it to Washington, is incomplete and guarded very well by, looks like, Andrew Rivera.
That was great pressure by the linebackers and the defensive line, John. They blitzed. Gutierrez read it. He audibled to a pass, and the number 19, Rivera, made an outstanding defensive play there on the ball.
So it'll bring up now a 2nd and 25 for the Wildcats. There was good penetration from the defense on that play by the Calexico Bulldogs.
Yeah, they brought the linebackers. They brought the dogs.
Coach Blue Torres said, I want to see a dog fight tonight. And hopefully we get that. And maybe this is the start of it. Camilo, and right there to stop him, number 2, Andrew Pasarava, coming in from a safety blitz, and just saw that jet sweep coming and read it extremely well, and dropped there for no gain.
Yeah, this defensive team, John, is scrappy. It's been like that all year long. They just need to once again believe in themselves that they could compete against these Brawley Wildcats. Defensively wise, they're showing it. Now we just gotta somehow find a rhythm for the offense to move the ball.
And Division II contender, the Brawley Wildcats, every year, and the Bulldogs Division IV. So a 3rd and long, under center, Ethan Gutierrez. Bulldogs putting the pressure, dropping back.
Play action.
Looks like a screen pass. Number 4, Brandon Torres, and brought down by number 10, Troy Marin.
That was an excellent tackle. He was probably about 15 yards from him, and just decided to, run. You could see number 10 has some speed, covered ground, and made that outstanding tackle.
Arctic Air Conditioning. We know that having the right people on the job is just as important as choosing the best equipment. Our York-trained professionals provide you with top-quality equipment, skilled installation, and an expert analysis of your comfort needs. Contact Arctic Air Conditioning and Heating at 352-8855. And by Letterman and Bros. Have you earned your varsity letter yet? Well, we'll get your jacket started today. Call Dan at 693-5034. 693-5034. Letterman and Bros. So they're gonna decline the penalty, and they're gonna force the Wildcats to punt with Zeus Prades back to receive, and punting for the Wildcats is Tanner Carranza. Carranza with an excellent punt. Spiral, taking a Wildcat bounce. It'll be picked up by Prades at the 10. Penalty flags flying. He may have dropped the ball.
That was an excellent punt by number 42, Carranza. Turned the ball over.
And we'll see what the call is by referee Gene Martin.
What I mean by turn the ball over, John, it goes up like a spiral, like a pass.
Right.
And it comes down like a pass. That's what you want to see in a punt, not end over end.
That way they'll return it. So it's an illegal block, and it'll be fielded at the Bulldog. Where's he going? He's going inside the 10. At the 10, excuse me. That was Gene Martin walking in that direction. He's got to be behind the offense. So it's a 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. 9:44 to go. Second quarter. Bulldogs down by 7. So Sean Torres and Zeus Prades, Conchola in motion. Prades got that handoff, kind of faked everybody out. He'll pick up 6.
Good run, and now what you hope for is, like I mentioned, establish a rhythm. Now you got positive yards. Keep that momentum. Let's use the other running backs. Let's run, to the right, to the left, counter it, trap it, and mix it up with a pass here and there.
So 2nd and 4. The ball inside the 20 at the 18. 9:14 and counting, second quarter. Sean Torres and Zeus Prades. Conchola in motion. Prades will get the handoff this time. Will he get the first down? He'll probably get it. No, he won't. So he's about a yard shy. They'll spot it at the 20.
Great tackle by number 24, Corrales, who once again read it and plugged that hole and was able to take him down. He's not an easy task to take him down. He's a strong running back, weighs about 185 pounds, about 5'10", and is strong. But once again, good fundamental tackle by number 24, Corrales.
3rd and 1. Important play here for Calexico. Prades to the other side,
They stopped him.
and he didn't get it, so
We're seeing a great tackling by the linebackers for these Wildcats. That was number 31, Chris Camillo again, was able to take him down, unassisted tackle, John. When you could have the linebackers do tackles but just by themselves is a great plus to have on your defensive side.
well, Brawley's very well balanced, and it shows tonight that their defense is just as good as their offense.
Yeah, you have Camilo, Corrales, Gutierrez, and Platt. Those are 4 excellent linebackers.
So 4th and a yard. Their Bulldogs are getting set to punt. Camilo standing at the Bulldog 40. If Martinez gets a good punt, it'll go over. No, that was the other running back.
Oh,
And it was a hit.
that was by number 12. On the
Pedro
tackle.
Rioseco. So Brawley will get the ball with 7:25 to go. First half.
They're still in the ball game, John. There's still a lot of ball game, and if you could produce another stop and somehow get the offense rolling, you have their quarterback Sean Torres, who's really athletic. Why don't we start running with him too? I don't know if he's still a little bit banged up, but use him, utilize him, get him on the outside to throw the ball or run. stop being so predictable with just Brawley's. Get him on the outside and run it or throw it.
Coming out of doubles with a 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line, the Brawley Wildcats.
We got timeout Bulldogs.
Timeout Calexico with 7:25 to go. Tonight's game is brought to you by Sanders Incorporated Architecture and Engineering, a leader in design, delivery, and development. Sanders is a proud supporter of Imperial Valley football, and we wish all our Imperial Valley schools a safe and successful season. By Grasso's, an Imperial Valley tradition since 1955. Go see my buddy Hank and order that double-sided garlic bread, open Wednesday through Sunday at 5 p.m. That's Grasso's in El Centro. By Imperial Printers. We are ready to help you with your next project, from business cards to banners. What can we print for you today at Imperial Printers? By Intercare. When it comes to healthcare, Intercare is here to help with locations throughout the Imperial Valley. Formerly Clínicas de Salud del Pueblo. By the Town Pump Steakhouse, open Tuesday through Saturday. Call us for reservations at 344-3663. Come by and experience a Valley tradition for over 50 years. And by Marianne Valenzuela Fenley, your State Farm insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, she's located at 528 G Street in Brawley. Marianne Valenzuela Fenley at 344-0447. So a 1st and 10.
7 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Double-doubles, Tanner Carranza, stopped by Diego Gurola, coming in quicker than poop through a goose.
That's actually number 53, John, Thomas Ibarra.
Was it Ibarra?
It was Ibarra who shot right through the hole and was able to get a good tackle on him.
Okay.
That was excellent work by him.
Well, we'll have to take a look at the replay. So 7 minutes to go, and no gain on the play for the Wildcats. 2nd and 10. You play defense like that, you'll be able to, play against the big boys. Carranza and Gutierrez, a quick pass to Platt, and everybody's there to stop him. Troy Marin, and number 7 for the Bulldogs, that's Jose Lara. Is that number 7? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, he was out there. So he'll pick up 5 yards and take it across midfield to the Bulldog 48 for a 3rd and 5.
That was a quick pass by Gutierrez, a 3-step rhythm, got the ball out of his hands quick underneath. Now it's a 3rd and about, 5 yards, John?
3rd and 5. And Bulldogs showing blitz as they're coming in. And penalty flags, there's some movement on the field. False start against Brawley. So it'll move it back 5 yards and make it a 3rd and 10.
So that alters the play for the Wildcats when you go from a 3rd and 5 to a 3rd and 10, but looks like they're just going to spread it and run and throw it, I mean. The Bulldogs need a big stop here because they're still in the ballgame. 5 minutes left. They make a stop, get the ball back, and have an opportunity to score if they could keep their get a rhythm on the offensive side. And
putting pressure, but Gutierrez with a slant pattern caught by number 5. That is McKay Washington, gets a 1st down and gives Brawley excellent field position at the Bulldog 35.
Too much cushion on the defensive side from the defensive backs. When you have 3rd and about 10, you can't give them 10 yards underneath so they could convert on that 1st down. So they need to come up and press a little bit more and cover a little bit better.
Trips to the left side for the Wildcats. Brawley utilizing the long count. Gutierrez going deep. A man is open. Caught. Touchdown. Brawley. That's number 5. McKay Washington. No flags. And putting another 6 points on the board for the Wildcats.
McKay is a great, outstanding receiver. He is fast. He runs good routes. And he's gotten a lot better with his hands. I've had the opportunity, John, to work with Gutierrez, and one of the good things that he did as a leader was any workout that we had, he would bring all his receivers with him and work on the timing, on the continuity. That's extremely important. That's one of the things that I tell quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, get involved with your receivers and throw to your receivers as much as you can.
And Nathan Urbano splits the uprights. And we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
Reducing energy use during the summer is more important than ever. This summer, IID encourages you to do your part by setting your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher, avoiding the use of large appliances between 4 and 9 p.m., and turning off all unnecessary lighting. But there's more. IID provides a number of summer energy-saving opportunities to help you make the most of your energy savings efforts. Check out our tips and energy saving guides at IID.com. Let's work together to stay cool and save energy this summer.
Tonight's game is also brought to you by Ray Castillo, Supervisor District 5, who would like to remind you and his constituents for everyone to get involved in their community. That's Ray Castillo, Supervisor District 5. By the Dom team, for all your real estate needs, go give Doug or Andrew a call at 337-8600. The Dom team, residential, business, or farmland real estate. By CR&R Incorporated Environmental Services, with recycling more important than ever, CR&R Incorporated has developed innovative recycling and reuse programs, the face of a greener generation. The bounce, muff, the kick, but fell on it. Is that's Andrew Rivera?
It looks like they were planning to run the return to the right. Everybody came towards this side, and he was the lone receiver out there. Luckily, he was able to fall on it.
So Calexico, with 4:42 to go second quarter, down 14-0, has a football inside the 25 at the 24-yard line, going left to right as they're headed toward the southern goal.
Still a lot of ball game. They need to
get in their rhythm, Butch, just like you've been saying.
And move the ball. Move those chains, John.
Move those chains, exactly. Pradis. Zeus Pradis. Picking up 5 yards, taking it to the 34. And then on the stop is number 31. That's Chris Camilo, constantly in the play all the time.
The Bulldogs got to, mix it up. You could play action off of that. Roll Sean Torres out, throw the ball, have him run. They're just keen on number 30, and it's not an easy task for you to just keep on giving him the ball all game long, especially with the defense that Brawley has. Great linebackers are willing to sacrifice their body and make those hard earned tackles.
2nd and 6. Paredes coming this way. And gang tackle brought down first again. Number 31, Chris Camilo, the initial stop, while his teammates.
That was 24 that came around as well. Like I mentioned,
Camilo
Corrales, Gutierrez, and Platt.
All right.
Those four are outstanding young linebackers or football players, John.
So a loss of 3 or 4 yards for Calexico with 3:38 to go in the second quarter. Timeout is called. Tonight's game is brought to you by Heart Insurance Center. For over 70 years, Heart Insurance has provided insurance solutions to the residents of Brawley, El Centro, and supporting areas throughout California. We have a heart for insurance. Look for our new location in Brawley at K Street. By Jesus Cachu Escobar, proud sponsor of VSN and supervisor District 1, who would like to thank his constituents of District 1, and he wishes all the Valley teams a great season. By Johnny's Burritos, founded by Johnny and Ana Maria Palomino in 1963, serving homemade Mexican and American food, located in Imperial and Brawley. By Ivy Welding and Mechanical, Fred Baeza, industrial welding contractor, serving the geothermal and all industrial facilities in the Imperial Valley. Ivy Welding, a proud sponsor of Valley Sports Network in El Centro. Give Fred a call at 760-482-WELD Weld. And by Que Pasa Calexico with the podcast for over 6 years with Jose Alejos. Learn, grow, and make the Imperial Valley a better place with the Que Pasa Calexico podcast. 3rd and 9. Sean Torres looking for his receiver, well guarded, number 13, Frankie Loera Rodriguez. Incomplete.
That he was well covered. A good job by the defensive backfield for the Brawley Wildcats. When you have just one single receiver going out to one side, it's extremely hard for you to get him the ball just because they're going to cover him. When you have multiple receivers and you spread it out, now you have the ability to pick and choose one or two or three receivers. You have a progression you could go through.
3.5 minutes to go, second quarter before halftime. Bulldogs getting set to punt. Luis Martinez and number 6, Daniel Camilo, standing at about midfield. Low punt, takes a Bulldog bounce, and
they got it, John.
It's touched by Camilo, and the Bulldogs fall on it.
That's number 12.
Pedro Rioseco. Wow.
This is
play.
A critical time for the Bulldogs leadership to step up and talk to everybody and believe in themselves that they could go march down the field for 50 yards and put it in that end zone. But they have to somehow step up. It's critical for their leadership to step up right now, John.
3:24 to go. Second quarter. Bulldogs have the football. On a muffed punt by the Wildcats at the 46. Sean Torres out of the gun. Shovel pass to somebody there, better
incomplete.
But it's incomplete pass. It's an incomplete pass. You'd think if he throws it behind him,
then it's a live ball. But
right.
Any shovel pass, regardless if it's underneath, underhand or overhand, it's still considered an incomplete pass if it hits the floor.
And he threw it in a lot of traffic. So your first reaction is it's a fumble, but it's not. So the Bulldogs retain possession. And it'll be now 2nd and 10. Ojeda Industries with Tony and Patricia Ojeda, serving the Imperial Valley for your industrial and agricultural needs, specializing in hydraulic repair and service. Located in Brawley, 1698 Jones Street, Ojeda Industries. Pradis with a handoff. Flags are flying, and Pradis will pick up pretty close to 5.
And it's typically thrown at the line of scrimmage as a holding, possibly.
I would say it is, and it is. You're right, Butch. It'll go back 10 yards.
Yeah, 3 minutes. You're on the 50. You're close to the 40 on their 47-yard line, and you got an opportunity to. You get the ball back, and you have an opportunity to keep your offense on the field and move forward positively. Now they're making those mental mistakes, holding, they'll shoot you in the foot, and now they're on their side of the football field, John.
So 2nd and over 20 to go. Ball at the Bulldog 43. And let's see what the Bulldogs come up with this time. Leadership counts here. Sean Torres with a quick pass. Looking for number 11. That is Benjamin Rodriguez, goes incomplete.
That they try to set up a quick screen to Rodriguez, but that timing, that rhythm, I don't know if because Sean hadn't practiced all week. He's still a little bit, sore from his calf, and also he has had the cold all week. So not as an excuse, but they need to find that rhythm, and that's what happens when you don't practice all week long, John.
You take a hit. So 3rd and 20. This is a critical play here for Calexico as we come down to under 3 minutes in the first half. Frankie Laura Rodriguez coming to this side. Coming to this side, I should say. And Sean Torres rolling out. Airs it out, but looks like he was going for Canchola, but nowhere near him. So the Bulldogs will set up the punting unit and will punt once again.
They can't find the rhythm on the offensive side. They're going to have to rely on their defense making the big play. And they've had a big play, and they made a good, they got the ball back on that punt. Now they got to ask for their defense to do a lot more, John.
Well, they've held possession pretty evenly, I would say, in this first half of play. So Luis Martinez and back to Camilo, who's standing inside his 30-yard line. And Luis Martinez gets a end over end. Well, and it goes with a Bulldog bounce inside the 35 to the 33-yard line.
And that's covered by number 17, Esteban Esquer.
So Brawley will get a chance with 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. For all your rock and landscaping materials, it's Havens Landscaping in El Centro. We have what you need for your home or business. Give Havens a call at 352-6735. You want to stay up to date with the latest in Imperial Valley sports coverage? Follow us on Twitter at Valley Sportsnet and make sure you have your post notifications turned on. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats inside the 30, their own 35. Carranza and Gutierrez in the backfield with 3 receivers to the right. Platt tight to the right. Gutierrez has time, steps up, decides to keep, and brought down from behind by Diego Gurrola, but not after he picks up almost a first down. He'll pick up 9. They'll spot it right at the 42.
That lane just opened up. When you drop back, sometimes these lanes open up and you're able to step up and deliver the football, but the defensive backfield for the Bulldogs did a good job of covering the receivers. No one was open, so Gutierrez elected to run and got 9 yards. Good run by him.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the El Centro Police Department. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. El Centro Police Department is proud to honor and support all those who have been impacted by breast cancer. So an interesting first half for Calexico as we're coming down to the waning moments with the Wildcats with a 14-0 lead.
They're still in the ball game. It's still, second half. Anything could happen, but they need to make this big stop right here, John. They need to get the ball back and prevent them from scoring.
2nd and a yard for the Wildcats. 2:15 to go.
They can't allow the receivers to get over the top and allow that big play like they did earlier.
Trips to the right. Gutierrez out of the gun. Washington split to the near side.
See how the defensive line does, John. Get some
Long
pressure
count.
on him.
A pass out of the backfield coming as Tanner Carranza gets a first down, crossing midfield to the Bulldog 49.
And number 28, Luis Alcalá with the tackle there.
So Alcalá on the tackle, utilizing the no huddle offense under 2 minutes. Doubles.
It's going to go man-to-man, and they're coming with the blitz.
Gutierrez has time rolling out. Decides to keep it and is pushed out of bounds. Feeling pressure by Troy Marin. So stopping the clock with 1:42 and
That was
picking up 7 yards.
That was a good job by Gutierrez. He did not force. He could have possibly thrown the ball into coverage, but was smart enough to get some positive yards, get outside, get out of bounds with 1 minute and 42 seconds left, and get about maybe 5-6 yards and close to about, now we got second and about 4 yards there.
Brawley looks for a touchdown here to go into the end and then the halftime with a 21-0 lead. Bulldogs, everybody's coming up.
Cover 0, everybody's coming. They're bringing him.
Long count. Robert Platt with a slant to the outside picks up a first down.
Another excellent job by Gutierrez, who was able to take one step, knew that the blitz was coming, had Platt open, took one step and delivered a strike to him for the first down.
So 1st and 10, Brawley at the 36-yard line going in. Minute and a half to go. First half. Coming out of doubles.
Once again, man-to-man coverage.
Gutierrez with time in the pocket. He's flushed out, decides to keep. He'll pick up 7 yards and takes it inside the 30 to the 29 of Calexico.
And he's elusive and smart enough to get outside and get out of bounds. What that does for them, it stops the clock with a minute 30 seconds left and getting them into close to the red zone here. They're about the 29-yard line.
So 2nd and short.
The linebackers and defensive line have to get pressure on him and force him to stay in the pocket.
Brawley headed toward the doghouse. Fakes the dive. Right side, short pass. And it's caught there by Brandon Porras. And again, he goes out of bounds with 1:24, stopping the clock.
Gutierrez is using all his receivers, John. He's been using Makai Washington. That was Brandon Porras. He used Robert Platt earlier. So he's spreading the ball. That's what you like to see on a good offense. Everybody contribute.
Keeping the Bulldog defense guessing.
Yes, sir.
Not predictable at all. So 1st and 10. Gutierrez, he controls that pocket, looking for a receiver, shoots it against the grain, intended for number 6, Camilo.
That was a great defensive pressure by number 18, Carlos Hernandez. Almost had Gutierrez in the backfield, but once again, his mobility in the pocket allowed him to get away from the pressure. Almost completed the pass there.
And you're seeing pass. You've got Tanner Carranza just waiting to get the ball.
And that's not a bad incompletion. It stops the clock. It would have been worse if he would have completed. That clock keeps on rolling or running.
1:15 to go, first half. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 25. Takes a dive to Carranza. Gutierrez is looking.
He finally got there. Number 18, Hernandez, was able to apply pressure and got to him. So great effort. Great effort.
Deflection in the pass.
Yes.
So 3rd down, stopping the clock at 1:10.
That's a type of defensive play that brings energy to the defense. When you see your teammate hustling and grinding and getting to the quarterback, that pumps you up and it lifts up your emotions and gets you going. It gets you to play harder.
Right.
If your teammate's doing it, then I could do it too.
You get fired up.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Brawley's already fired up. Gutierrez rolling this way. Will keep, has a lot of room ahead of him. He gets a first down and chased out of bounds by Troy Marin. So he'll take it to the 10, stopping the clock with 1 minute, 1 second. An excellent utilization of clock here by the Brawley coaching staff.
Speaking earlier this morning to their defensive coordinator, Pacheco, for the Bulldogs, had mentioned that one of the key things is they got to contain Gutierrez. They got to box him in, John, and unfortunately they did not do that job there.
So this is a 1st and goal. 1:01 to go, first half. Robert Platt, touchdown, Brawley. An excellent pass from Gutierrez to Platt, the tight end, from 10 yards out, puts another 6 on the board for the Wildcats.
That's too much cushion for the defensive
open.
back. They got to play tighter and react, and that was a credit to Robert Platt, who made an outstanding catch. The ball was thrown behind him, but was able to turn around and catch it and score the touchdown.
And with a point after Urbano, it's good. So we're up. Brawley's up 21-0 right before we go into the locker room. We'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
Whether you're looking to purchase or sell, your next home awaits. Give the Dom team a call. With over 50 years of experience and over 100 years in the Imperial Valley, Andy and Doug can help you find the right home at the right price fast. Visit us online at www.thedomteam.com and let Andrew and Doug find the perfect home for you. Call today, 760-337-8600.
Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Just about to close the first half of play, and a shout-out to Mike Davies and the law enforcement class here at Calexico High School who add more security to the events, and especially this football game. Thank you, Mike Davis, class of 1983, Calexico High School, former police officer. Outstanding job by your students here at Calexico High School. Pooch kick, and it'll be downed right at the 24 by number 17, Esteban Esquer. So Calexico, with less than a minute to go, would like to go into the halftime locker room with something on the board.
54 seconds, you don't have a lot of time, but you got to open up the playbook. Or you regroup. Down 21 points, you still have a chance to come back and take a lead, but you got to play much better on the offensive side and adjust on the defense.
Another handoff to Prades, finds some running room, and he'll take it to the 30. He'll pick up 7.
A good run by number 30, Prades there. Good hard run.
Keeping the clock ticking. Second and short. Prades stutter stepping, trying to get to that first down marker. He'll get the first down. And
you have a gang of Wildcats there making the tackle, John.
Stopping the clock at 21 seconds till they move the chains. So Calexico on the move, but running out of time. And this is probably the last play. They may not even get it off.
Looks like they're going to go into the half. And
they're going to go into halftime with a deficit of 21 points. And we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
publicly owned Imperial Irrigation District proudly delivers low-cost, reliable energy service to its customers in the Imperial and Coachella Valleys. When compared to other power providers, IID's residential, commercial, and governmental customers all save up to 50% on their monthly energy bills. That's because IID is committed to more than just delivering power. IID is committed to you. IID, where customers always come first.
Cada día, el Distrito de Irrigación de Imperial, su entidad pública, ha proporcionado servicio de energía confiable y económico a sus clientes en los valles de Imperial y Coachella. Comparado con otros proveedores de energía, los clientes residenciales, comerciales y gubernamentales del IID ahorran hasta un 50% en sus facturas. Es porque el IID está comprometido a más que solo proporcionar energía. El IID está comprometido con usted. IID, donde los clientes siempre son primero.
From the Chocolate Mountains to the Sea of Cortez, all along the border on a Thursday night, this is the Valley Sports Network with our halftime show. And our guest tonight is a young lady that I've known since she was just a little girl. She is a graduate of Calexico High School, went on to study physical education, and has done a lot of things for the students of Calexico as far as owning the Synergy Sports, but coaching basketball, participating in cheerleader. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Amanda Rose Gerardo Briceño to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. Thank you.
We know you're excited, and we know that there's a lot of good things going on at Calexico High School because you're at the helm. Tell us a little about yourself and some of the things that you've done and the things that you want to do at Calexico High School.
Well, again, my name is Amanda Rose Gerardo Briceño. This is my 4th year coaching at Calexico High School, the girls basketball team. I'm very excited also because this is my 4th year as a PE teacher, and there's so many good things happening in our education, our physical education area. We have new locker rooms coming in. We have the team locker rooms that are going to be ready by at least March. And then we also have the front of the school that's going to be built and reconstructed, and it's looking really nice, and I'm excited for all the facilities coming this
Now,
year.
your office is in what used to be the old gym, which was built in 1939 and brought over from where San Diego State was in 1954. Now, we've seen a lot of construction over there. Tell us what's going on the sides of the building. Are those the locker rooms?
Okay, so on the sides of Godfrey Gym locker room, it's going to be 2 team rooms. So one on the south end is going to be the boys team for athletics locker room, and then on the north side is going to be the girls team locker room. And then you have the Varner Gym locker rooms, which was cut in half, and that is going to be the PE locker rooms, which is half girls, half boys, with all these new lockers coming in and new offices.
So that's some good things coming to you at Calexico High School. Now, Amanda, you have been coaching girls basketball for the last 3 years, if I recall, and you've seen some successes. You were the DVL, not the DVL, but the IVL champ. Your first year, you had some great players in Cici Costa and Vivi Cuadras. Tell us about the program that you're running now and what are the challenges you're facing in the 22-23 season.
You know, with every great team, you lose players, and then you still have a good core coming back to Calexico High School. Thankfully, I have a good 7 girls coming back, which is Cici Costa, you have Mia Borboa, and you have other athletes such as Nicole Zhao, you have Valeria Viveros, Ashley Ramirez, Leslie Herrera, who is our incoming sophomore. But we did have challenges this last year, but with every setback, there's always a greater comeback.
Right.
So it's looking really good for us, and the future is bright for our Calexico girls basketball team.
Well, and that's good to hear because you hosted a CIF game your first year, which was quite an accomplishment. The girls basketball team has always seen some successes. You had a former player, Kayla Rubio, who was doing an outstanding job. And I don't know if you were coaching her or not, but she has gone on to play at the next level.
And that's great because that's even greater for Calexico athletes here to see that accomplishment. It gets them motivated. It gets them committed that they can do it too. But it's all about the mental aspect there for all these athletes. And that's what we're instilling at our basketball program.
Now, I've known that you are also going to the lower levels, to the feeder programs, to the junior highs, and trying to recruit and trying to start the program from those levels. Have you had cooperation from the schools, the Willie Moreno Junior High School and the Kiki Camarena Junior High School? And if you've gone to the elementary levels, I mean, that's where a lot of it starts.
Exactly. And I am so thankful for our junior highs, Willie Moreno, Kiki Camarena, for giving us the opportunity of our varsity coaches and our coaching staff, which is Fabian Galindo, Jose, which is Bird Briseño, and Katia Osuna, for giving us the opportunity to encourage those athletes, those 7th and 8th graders, to have the passion of basketball. Some of them didn't know how to dribble, but they were like, we don't know how to dribble, coach. And I said, it's okay. This is why we're here. Right. But I'm so thankful of that. And then now that we have the recreation coming up, which is the next step, and we're going to target all those elementary schools, which is the next step for Calexico basketball.
Have you seen a big interest in your PE classes? Have you seen talent out there? So sometimes you can recruit the talent that you see in your PE classes.
You know what? I call them hidden gems because sometimes my husband that works at Willie Moreno, he says, hey, there's an 8th grader here. She's really good. And I'm like, sign her up with me for the off season. Or I have my mother who is at the 9th grade campus over there at CHS.
Wait a minute, your mother? Who's your mother?
Oh, my mother is Coach Rose. We all know Coach Rose Moreno Gerardo, right?
My sister, but go ahead.
She's the greatest of all time, too. Her, too, she always says, hey, Amanda, when is practice? When is off season? And I say, bring them over. So I'm getting here and there. I'm even going to during my classes, my PE classes, I'm like, hey, you're a good shooter. Let's sign you up. And that's how it goes. You find those hidden gems somewhere.
Are you working with the students right now? Are you working in the off season? Because in November, you've got to hold tryouts. You've got to get your schedule set. Yeah. Your first game is probably before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving. So you've got to get ready for that already.
Yeah, so this year I was so excited because I finally had the opportunity to instill a off-season program, because when I came in my first year, I didn't have a time to do it because I came in right in November, and then we had those COVID seasons, which was a little setback for us. But this year, we started right off the back. In March, we started right off the back with our 7th and 8th grade, and then we continued in the summer playing games, practicing twice a week, and then now we're hosting games at our Varner gym, which is very helpful for the girls to get that game experience. And this one is in fall, which is right now, is our varsity fall league, which Imperial comes, Southwest comes, 2 Yuma schools, which is Yuma High, Kofa, Shadow Hills from Indio visited us, which they were really good this year. And this is what we're doing right now. And I'm taking a 2-week break after this Saturday because I have to prepare for tryouts coming up.
Well, let's take a break right now. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Valley League and what you need to do to be on top of it. We'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
COVID-19 boosters part of your summer plans. Children 5 years of age and older are now eligible for a COVID-19 Pfizer booster. The vaccine is safe, free, and effective. Visit myturn.ca.gov or call 442-265-6700 to schedule your child's appointment or find a clinic near you. Have a safe summer. Get boosted. Visit myturn.ca.gov or call 442-265-6700.
At Burgers and Beer, our customers are like family. Let's hear what a few of them have to say about us.
We're here at Burgers and Beer with the best burgers in town.
We get to sit together and enjoy the great food.
I like when Burgers and Beer is in the lemonade.
For the fresh iced tea, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
It was wonderful, very fast, very efficient.
I love the great food and family environment.
I love the burgers and the customer service.
So come and see us and find out for yourself at Burgers and Beer.
let's take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll talk about the Valley League and what you need to do to be on top of it. We'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network. Okay, so you're probably going to give us 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay. I'll introduce your dad, and then we'll talk about the Valley. Let us know when we can go on.
Reducir el uso de energía
Charlie, you gonna add 2
durante el
minutes?
verano es más
Do
importante
you add 2
que
minutes,
nunca.
or is that?
Este verano, IID le anima a hacer su parte
Okay.
al ajustar su termostato a 78 grados o más, evitar usar electrodomésticos principales de 4 a 9 p.m. y apagar luces innecesarias. Pero aún hay más. IID ofrece un número de oportunidades de ahorro de energía. Conozca nuestros consejos de ahorro de energía en iid.com. Trabajemos juntos para estar frescos y para ahorrar energía este verano.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good to see you. Rubio, right? Okay, there it is. Okay. We are back live here at the Brawley Calexico game. It's halftime, and with me is head basketball coach, varsity girls basketball coach, daughter of Jose Luis Gerardo, class of 1977, all CIF receiver, all DVL in football, basketball, baseball. Just one excellent athlete of the 1970s, and the daughter of Rose Moreno Gerardo, cheer coach par excelente for the last 20 years here at Calexico High School, and a PE teacher at the Calexico High School 9th grade. I'm here with Amanda. Amanda's going to give us a short scouting report on what to watch out for in the girls' basketball season 22-23. Amanda?
Well, I'm going to start off saying don't sleep on Calexico. Our team is looking good this year. Our core is back, and we're ready to just dominate on the court. Not only us, we do have a tough challenge in the Imperial Valley League. We do have Imperial, who is a definite powerhouse. We also have Hopeville, who is also a powerhouse. We have Brawley, and Central is joining us this year at the IVL League. So that's what we're looking at right here.
So Central's moved up from the Desert League because I know throughout the season, depending on how a team finishes, they can either move up or move down to the Desert League or the Ivy League, just like we did in softball. Calexico was both a Desert League in softball and in baseball. But so Central moving from the Desert League up to the IVL.
Exactly. And then you have at the DVL, you have Southwest, you have Vincent, you have Calipan, and Palo Verde, the defending champions.
So when is your first game? Do you have your schedule ahead of you? When are tryouts? When can we go see your outstanding coaching?
Well, we start off, our first scrimmage is against Kofa in Yuma, but then we have a home game coming up November 19th versus Santana High School. They are coming down to Calexico High School and visiting our beautiful Varner gym. We are so excited, and we have tryouts coming up. So if there's any athlete that is wanting to play basketball that has never picked up a basketball, bring them over. I'm excited to coach them. We have a good coaching staff this year. We have a beautiful gym, and that's starting November 7th and 8th at 3:45 to 5:45 p.m.
Any final closing comments? We're about to start the second half of play here.
You know what? I'm just so excited to be here. This was so nerve-wracking, but I'm here. I'm glad to be here on a Thursday night, not a Friday night light, but I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll thank you for joining us. And that was Amanda Rose Gerardo Briseño, our head varsity basketball coach and PE teacher for Calexico High School. And we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network. Well, we're here from the Chocolate Mountains to the Sea of Cortez. Getting ready for the second half of play. Brawley's up 21-0. Calexico's kicking off with Luis Martinez, and we'll see who he kicks off to way back there. Number 6, Camilo, and number 4, Brandon Porras, if he goes that deep. End over end. Porras inside the 10. Takes it up 20, 25, 30. And he's got the kicker to bring him down. And it looks like he does, but he crosses midfield to the Bulldog 48-yard line.
Number 25, Damian Hurtado with the tackle there. Good thing he tackled him, otherwise he would have broken free.
Yeah.
Good return.
One guy to beat.
Good field position for the Brawley Wildcats here. The Bulldogs need a big stop so they could get the momentum right off the bat. So hopefully they could stop them at 3 and out and force them to punt. In order for them to come back, they'll have to do that, John.
And Ethan Gutierrez with Tanner Carranza.
Veer option. I think he fumbled the ball, or
well,
did he keep
I'm
it?
not sure. I think he kept it. Looked like he was giving it, but going towards the outside veer, a loss on the play of a yard. So it'll be spotted right at midfield, just inside the...
I think he wanted to pull it out, keep it, and then it eventually slipped and fell down.
The dynamics of the triple option, veer option,
Mr. Gutierrez
RPO,
used to teach us that
he started with us with our senior year in '77 with Luis Montaño, who picked it up right away. And a quick pass to the tight end Platt on a crossing route and getting a first down. It looks like he took it all the way inside the 32-yard line. So Gutierrez brought it, and Gutierrez was coaching. This is Al Gutierrez at Imperial for a couple of years, where Imperial ran the wishbone. And when he came to Calexico in 1977, it was, either give, keep, or pitch. And Luis Montaño, our quarterback that year, an MVP, picked it up and did an outstanding job running the veer, and he ran it ever since. And when it came to a head was in 1982 with Chiquis Larrañaga and Randy Robinson gaining a lot of yards on the ground with a veer option. But you picked it up when you were playing in 1992 and 3, and you perfected it pretty well, Butch.
It's old school, hard-nosed football, John. The veer option, now it's integrated to what's called a run-pass option. The RPOs from the shotgun, you still run it similar style, but there's more, I would say, nuances to the play. You could run it, you could pass it. There's a lot more to it.
A screen pass, and it's almost picked off as it does the tip drill.
That just didn't go well for the Wildcats. The Bulldogs read it well. They had some pressure and had somebody near the receiver.
And a key thing about the option is your line giving, the running backs and the quarterback time to be able to, they're going to read the first down lineman from the center. So the tackles always went in to block the linebacker, and whether that defensive tackle came across, you decided whether to keep or pitch. So a second and long.
There he goes.
And there he goes. Exactly. He decides to keep. And he's an outstanding runner. Ethan Gutierrez will pick up the necessary yardage.
The flag on the play there, John.
Will they bring it back?
We'll see what the call is.
It's a holding penalty against the Wildcats, so that'll move it back. But you saw how he ran it, just go straight down the line and then turn it upfield, and that was one of the things that Coach Al Gutierrez was recommended when the quarterback went off the tackle's butt, that he had to turn it up the field instead of what we see quarterbacks do is they go toward the sideline.
No, you see a crease, so you put that right foot down and start going upfield. and gain positive yards, you don't want to stretch it down the sidelines and run 20 yards sideways.
Yeah, no east and west running. You want north and south running. So 10-11 to go, third quarter. Brawley has a football coming out of doubles on a second and about 20. Gutierrez and brought down hard by number 18. That is Carlos Hernandez, a sack for the Bulldog defense.
He's been putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Number 18 is a senior. Carlos Hernandez has, I believe, 2 sacks on the night tonight and a couple of pressures on Gutierrez. So outstanding job to Mr. Carlos Hernandez. This is what the Bulldogs needed. They need to get the ball back from these Wildcats and prevent them from driving down the field and scoring another touchdown. They cannot afford for them to score another touchdown if they want to come back in the game.
3rd and 25 from the 48. Ethan Gutierrez. Pressure. And doesn't elude anybody this time as 28, 53, and 18 flags. On the play, 23. David Rivera, 18. Carlos Hernandez.
Curious to see what the call on that play was.
And 53, that is our friend Thomas Ibarra.
They're waving it, John.
They're waving it, so
good stop for the Bulldogs.
It may have been some rough in the passer, but I don't think so. And so it'll be a 4th and long, and what a defensive stand by the Calexico Bulldogs. We've got some stats brought to you by Jalen Fong of VSN. Ethan Gutierrez, 13 of 16 passes, 177 yards, 3 TDs, and 6 rushes for 41 yards.
Great first half for him.
And Robert Platt with 6 catches, 58 yards, and 2 TDs, a spiral punt. And that is Pradis. No, that is number 13, Frankie Laura Rodriguez. Chris Camilo with 6 tackles. Brandon Porras, 4 catches for 57 yards. And on the Calexico side, Zeus Pradis, 8 carries, 22 yards. Not much there, but Troy Marin, Jose Lara, Luis Alcala, Diego Gurrola, and Tomas Ibarra with 3 tackles each.
So far for the Brawley Wildcats, they've executed their game plan. Their game plan coming in must have to been stop Pradis from running the football, and they've done an outstanding job there.
And the ball goes to that's Sean Torres.
Yeah.
He's decided to keep that football. Looks like that was what the play was intended for.
It looks like a run for him right off the bat.
But only picking up 1.5 yards.
He still doesn't look like he's explosive and capable of, to 100% running. So it's tough when you have, an injured leg, or in his case, his calf, which is bothering him.
And he needs to be 100%. Sometimes when you're injured like that, you anticipate pain. Leo Canchola, but there's flags in the backfield. But
might be offsetting flags here.
Good run by Leo Canchola as he'll take it to the 26. Almost good enough for a first down. And it's going against Calexico. It looks like they're heading that direction.
I thought they were going to call the defense for like a horse collar or a face mask, but looks like it's just a holding on Calexico.
So move it down to the 10, inside the 10 at the 9-yard line, shooting themselves in the foot, the Bulldogs.
Hey, John, I want to get a shout out to our 1993-94 Bulldogs, all of our teammates that are listening and watching this game. Shout out to you guys. Miss you guys. Hopefully you get together soon.
No, I remember that year. I was helping out, I think, on the freshman of the JV. And Coach Gonzalez, Coach Platero, Coach Buck, Coach Fonseca, Armstrong. We had a good group of athletes that year. What do they call it? The cardiac kids, or they had some name
That's
for
exactly cardiac kids. That's we came back and beat
Palm Desert, yeah,
and Indio too,
which was a big part of the season.
Yes, sir.
So a second and 25. The Bulldogs back inside their own 5. Sean Torres shoots it over and through the hands of number 11, Benjamin Rodriguez.
They have to make plays right now when you're trying to come back and you have, an opportunity to make a play. Number 11 had a chance to catch the ball and catch it and run for extra yards, but unfortunately it went through his hands.
And I can't forget Coach Alberto Esperanza and a coach who was also there on the line.
Boy Fonseca.
I think Eric Reyes was also coaching in those days for Calexico, a former Brawley Hall of Famer.
Boy Fonseca too.
Coach Boy Fonseca. He was on the line. A lot of good guys out there. We had a good time making that video for you all.
Great memories.
So Sean Torres with a 3rd and long. Out of the shotgun, standing in his own end zone. Looking for a receiver. Intercepted by Camilo. And that kind of blew the wind out of the sails for the Bulldogs at that interception, taking it pretty close to the goal line at the 3.
Not a good throw at all. You hang it up like that, eventually it'll get picked, and it did.
The receiver was open, though.
Just a poorly thrown ball by number 5, Sean Torres.
So we'll look.
You see the importance, John, on having a quarterback that has, the experience in playing at the varsity level. When you have, like, for example, Ethan Gutierrez has 4 years of playing quarterback. This is Sean Torres' first year at the quarterback position. He's learning, understanding it. The key component to a successful quarterback is being able to be a leader, not giving up. When things don't go well, you fight through it, and you make those throws when you have that opportunity. You have an opportunity to throw the ball, you got to be able to throw it in the receiver's vicinity and make him go up for the ball and make a play on it. But it's extremely important. That's the one trait you have to have as a quarterback, being a leader.
Absolutely, Butch. And you've got this outstanding Brawley Wildcat football tradition. I've always said with Vic that the championship to the IVL runs through Brawley. You've had the consistency of John Self and his staff that have just been doing outstanding things throughout the year. And the big part of it is Billy Brewer, the athletic director for Brawley Union High School, who has been there for years and is not going anywhere. He's, you have all that rallying around this outstanding program. And right there open in the end zone, Mackay Washington from a few yards out, touchdown Brawley, just like that.
There's some confusion in the backfield. He was wide open. Nobody was covering him. They can't allow that miscommunication, especially in the end zone. John, going back to what it takes to build a championship team, you got to have the community involved. You got to have the youth program strong. You build those youth programs and get them ready so when they are 13, 14, 15 years old, become freshmen, they have the experience and they're able to overcome those tough, hard-fought games. And, shout out to the Brawley Wildcats. They do an outstanding job as a community as a whole, and that's why they're successful year in, year out. And that's what Calexico needs here. It starts from the bottom, from the kids, from the community, administration to, the teachers. It's a community, and that's what makes a high school program successful. It's not the coach. It's not the coaches. They're a big part of it, but it takes an entire village, an entire community to bring on that success.
You're absolutely right. Brawley fields the 3 teams, the freshmen, the JV, the varsity. They've done it for years. Calexico's had tough times fielding a freshman team, fielding the city teams of the Pop Warner. Brawley Hall has that, and it's done every year like a well-oiled machine. And what you see is the results that you see now, and you've seen in the past, so many years. And once you have that tradition, it's hard to beat.
It's tough. The Calexico community is unique. It's got a different culture here than El Centro and then Brawley. But you, as a head coach, you have to go out in the community and find those kids that want to play football and develop these kids at the flag football. It starts with that commitment. You see other cities have 4 flag football teams, and they play the game and they develop a passion for it. So they're 9 and 10 years old. They want to play football. They enjoy it. So they keep on playing year in, year out. Here in Calexico, they start as their freshman year and into sophomores because it's popular. It's Friday night lights. They want to go out and be part of the community, part of a football team, but they lack the experience. So it takes a village to somehow get youth football organized, and you just can't have one person. You have to have a community. That's where it starts, from the 9-year-old, the 10-year-old, flag football, and develop that. But as long as Calexico does not have that, it's going to struggle, and it's going to have a hard time getting a good product or a good team out in the field. Yeah, once every 4 or 5 years, 10 years, you have a good team, but how do we keep it consistent? That's the key, and it's a tough thing to do.
It's a lot of turnover, Butch. It's a lot of turnover in personnel, and when you see a lot of turnover in personnel, you'll see these seasons that are either feast or famine, but mostly famine. And Calexico has not been able to get that out of the way. We've averaged a head coach since 1915, one head coach every 3 years.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's a hard game to play, and if you don't have continuity, 11 on the field that play well together and have the confidence and instill that, as it's going to show. Right. It's going to show.
Paradis with a handoff doesn't get much there, and I can relate back to my high school years. I had Coach Evangelist, head coach my freshman year, Coach Mankins, head coach my sophomore year, Coach Chavez, head coach my junior year, and Coach Gutierrez, who stayed on for the next 7 years. But right there, you saw the inconsistencies of the program. And as freshmen, with your Uncle Gil Redona, we were undefeated as freshmen, and we looked, everybody felt that we would be able to do something our senior year, which didn't happen because of the inconsistencies at the top. So Zeus Paradis again with a handoff, tries to turn the corner and doesn't.
Number 24, Corrales again with another tackle. Like I mentioned, these linebackers they're feisty. They play well. They understand the game, understand how to put themselves in position to be in that tackle. And like I mentioned, good, outstanding play by the linebackers. They're doing great. I'm impressed with them.
So 3rd and 9 for Calexico in the third quarter, 6.5 to go. Sean Torres and 3 receivers to the left side. Rolling out that direction, and nothing there as he gets sacked by number 18 and number 17. That's Robert Platt and Matthew Gutierrez.
They haven't been able to get him into a rhythm, John. And when you're playing a quarterback position, what you want to do for your quarterback to instill confidence is to get him to complete a short pass. Just something short, something one little completion will then lead into another completion, and that builds confidence. And now once you have a quarterback that's confident, now you're able to move the ball and be more successful on the offensive side. But it looks like he's struggling. He's not finding a rhythm, not able to complete the pass. The offensive line there didn't do a very good job of blocking, but he needs to get the ball out of his hands quick.
And the Bulldogs punting unit is on the field. Luis Martinez to fumbles goes over his head, touchdown Brawley. Wow, how unfortunate for Calexico, but a good thing for the Brawley Wildcats, as Calexico can't find the handle on the football and can't find the rhythm that they need here in the second half of play. So it's 34-0 as the Wildcats are trying for the point after. And what started off as a pretty close game, Butch,
it's getting out of hand.
It's got out of hand. So hats off to the Wildcats for taking advantage of some of the weaknesses the Bulldogs have been exhibiting here tonight. And as we're talking about the program and what needs to happen, this is only one game, but this is a big game.
It is, and now you got, you play it in parts. Now 34 points, it's a tough thing to do to come back. Can you come back? Absolutely, but by the way the offense is playing, it's going to be a hard thing to do. But they have to chip at it. They have to continue. This is when leadership counts, John. Having those leaders on the team and getting everybody on the same page and excited and motivated regardless of the score. It looks like they're kind of, rolling out and kind of, this game's over, morality is down. They need to pick it up and figure out who their leaders, because they're going to have a tough game next week against Vincent Memorial. They haven't stopped the pass tonight. They got to be able to do that. So once again, now you're playing for your pride. Now you're playing for your town. Now you're playing for everything in the second half for this game not to get away more than 35 points, and you're still haven't scored, haven't been able to move the ball. They got to figure out a way.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Driscoll's. Been serving the Imperial Valley since 1979, and they take great pride in the years of experience and quality of custom silkscreen and embroidery services. Make sure you stop by and check out their huge selection of sunglasses, sandals, street clothes. That's Driscoll's at State and Imperial in El Centro. By Burgers and Beer in El Centro, open 7 days a week, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Come watch the VSN Game of the Week at Burgers and Beer. And by Imperial Valley College, founded in 1962, proud sponsor of live streaming for all Imperial Valley High School sports. IVC, fostering excellence in education for 60 years. By RDO Equipment, whether you're a seasoned pro in precision ag or just getting started, RDO Equipment Company is what you need for your success in the field. Esqued Realty, your hometown real estate office in Calexico and serving the entire Imperial Valley for 30 years. Go see Mark Esqued at Esqued Realty. Esqued Realty, the mark of excellence. By Top Notch Barbershop, visit Big Chris at Wake Avenue, 317 Wake Avenue in El Centro for a one-of-a-kind haircut. Fresh fades, always a cutaway. Top Notch Barbershop. And by Arctic Air Conditioning and Heating, we know that having the right people on the job is just as important as choosing the best equipment. Our York-trained professionals provide you with top-quality equipment, skilled installation, and an expert analysis of your comfort needs. Contact Arctic Air Conditioning and Heating, 352-8855. Sean Torres with a jet sweep to Leo Canchola. And he is hit hard, knocked out of bounds, right inside the 30. It looks like number 23 on that hit stick. Matthew Moreno, only a sophomore. I don't know if you saw somebody else, but wow.
No, that was a good run by number 33, a hard run by him. He earned those 8 yards at the end.
So 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Bulldogs down 35-0, and not very many positives coming out of the Bulldogs tonight. And it's all been Brawley Wildcat here at this last league game for Calexico, and the second of the last league game as Brawley looks to the Bell game next week. And fumbled as the exchange by Pradis and Sean Torres. nullifies a gain by Canchola, bringing it back to the original line of scrimmage.
It's the inexperience that they need to somehow now get the experience to be able to move forward either for next game or next season as well. Going, what are they, 1-2 in league?
Calexico?
Yes.
Yeah, 1-2, losing to Imperial and Central, and a victory over Southwest, and look like they're having a tough time here against Brawley, and in fact they are.
We got a timeout by the Bulldogs.
And we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network. Well, we're back here. Brawley's up 35-0, 3:56 to go, third quarter. Sean Torres out of the gun, screen pass, and shoots it to Pradis, who wasn't ready as he's coming out of the backfield. It'll go incomplete, and the Bulldogs will have to bring out the punting unit.
When things are going well, your body language is good. You're positive. You're having a good time. But when things aren't going your way, you got to find a way to keep your body language positive, John.
Yeah.
You can't give up. You can't look defeated out there. You need to turn it around, regardless of what the score is, and figure out a way to get your team going.
It's not time to fold the tent yet.
No.
We've still got another 12, 15 minutes to play. So Luis Martinez, high snap. He's going to have to do something with it. He does. He gets it off. And it takes a Brawley bounce. And the Bulldogs will have to get on it, and giving Brawley excellent field position at the 33.
This is definitely not the Bulldogs that I've seen all season long. They are not playing up to their potential. They're not, they're not in sync tonight. But, kudos to the Brawley Wildcats. They game planned well. They've executed, stopped Pradis. Their defense is doing an outstanding job tackling and stopping them from big plays.
So the Wildcats will try it again on offense with 3:41 to go, third quarter. And it's a 35-0 deficit for Calexico. And now they've got the reserves in there, number 18 at quarterback. And number 20.
That's Matthew Gutierrez, a sophomore. Actually, he played a little bit a couple of weeks ago when they sat Gutierrez out because of his injured thigh. So he has a little bit of experience as a sophomore, Matthew Gutierrez.
And handing the ball to Zane Richards, picking up 7 yards and taking it to the 26, going in. So a second and short as the reserves are out here for the Brawley Wildcats, giving the starters a rest. More importantly, giving these reserves some play time. Richards with the ball finds a big open hole and takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Brawley, from the 26-yard line.
Great job by the offensive line of the Wildcats. They were able to open a big hole which I think I could have ran through it.
No, even I could have ran through it after a big lunch. So going for the point after and making it 42-0 is Nathan Urbano, and holding is Ethan Gutierrez. Snap, set, kick, and it's good, and it's now 42-0 in favor of the Wildcats. We'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
Reducing energy use during the summer is more important than ever. This summer, IID encourages you to do your part by setting your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher, avoiding the use of large appliances between 4 and 9 p.m., and turning off all unnecessary lighting. But there's more. IID provides a number of summer energy-saving opportunities to help you make the most of your energy savings efforts. Check out our tips and energy saving guides at IID.com. Let's work together to stay cool and save energy this summer.
So the Wildcats with a 26-yard TD pass, or not a pass, but a run from Zane Richards, a junior, from his reserve position, just adding more points to the Brawley Wildcats as they're now looking towards the bell game.
Well, this is a good opportunity, good time for the Brawley Wildcats to play their underclassmen. Like I mentioned, out of the 46 kids that they have on the roster, only 8 were underclassmen. So they have to give them some type of experience for their following season.
A pooch kick. And the Bulldogs will have a shot at this. Hopefully they'll be able to get something going. They'll spot the ball at their own 32-yard line.
They're bringing him a JV quarterback up to the quarterback position here at number 9. I don't think we have him on the roster.
No, we don't have him on the roster. Well, let's see what number 9 can do. We'll try to get his name for you.
Robbie Montejano.
Robbie Montejano.
Bobby.
Okay. It's Carlos' son, I think.
Yes.
Hands it off to Pradis. And Pradis makes some headway and picks up 6, taking it to the 37-yard line.
This is first varsity experience. I'm glad he's getting in there and given the opportunity to hand off the ball and see what he's able to do.
Yeah, I believe I saw his father here a couple of weeks ago, Carlos Montejano, who's and Robbie's the grandson of Humbert Montejano from the class of 1967. Well, outstanding receiver in the 60s. And now we've got number 25 in there for Calexico. That is Damian Hurtado. Damian will get if he doesn't get a first down, he's pretty close.
There's a flag on the play. I think number 13 was penalized there.
They're going against Calexico. Yeah, they're moving back. Stopping the clock with 2 minutes. 42-0 Brawley. In the waning minutes of this third quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by Reach Medical Response Service. Donnie Wharton reminds you that when seconds count, you can depend on Reach Medical Transportation Service. You want to stay up to date with the latest in Imperial Valley sports coverage? Follow us on Twitter at Valley Sports Net and make sure you have post notifications turned on. And by Jimmy Sanders Incorporated. Architecture and Engineering, a leader in design, development, and delivery. Sanders Incorporated is a proud sponsor, or a proud supporter of Imperial Valley football, and we wish all our Imperial Valley schools a safe and successful season. And remember what Dippy Duck says, never swim in canals and always conserve energy during peak hours. An unsportsmanlike conduct against Calexico? Is that what that was?
Yes, that was against Frankie Loeta Rodriguez. I don't know if he pushed him in the back or just an unnecessary.
So they're down at the 27. Throwing it over the middle. Pass is caught there. That is number 13, Frankie Loeta Rodriguez. A beautiful pass. Was that Robbie Montejano?
That was Montejano with a nice pass.
Wow.
And a late hit on the sidelines there.
The penalty flag, yeah. Hopefully it's not against Calexico to nullify that gain.
No, that was against the defense, I think, for a late hit while he was out of bounds already. Personal foul.
So they're going to move it into Wildcat territory.
Great job there by Bobby or Robert Montejano with stayed in the pocket, threw a nice pass to Loeta Rodriguez right on stride. Was able to get a big positive yard. That's what they've lacked all game long.
He fired it right to him. I mean,
good job.
Yeah. So Robbie Montejano to Loeta Rodriguez now gives the Bulldog the best field position they've had almost all night. So a 1st and 10. Handoff to number 25.
Damon Hurtado.
Damon Hurtado just pounding his way, picking up 9.
That's a positive yards here. That's what you want to do is keep on fighting, regardless of the score. You're playing for pride here, John. You've got to play for pride.
Brawley 42, Calexico 0 with a little over a minute to go in this third quarter. And I'm not sure if they utilized the running clock yet. So a 2nd and short from inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line. And Montejano out of the shotgun. This time Zeus Pradis gets the ball and scores. Touchdown, Calexico. Zeus Pradis from the 12-yard line, finally getting 2 points on the board for the Calexico Bulldogs.
Excellent job by their, I believe he's a sophomore as well, quarterback Robert Montejano, who came in there, gave them a spark. He's look at his body language, it's positive, good things are going. And it's a spark that they needed to score, and hopefully they're able to get another stop and build off of that momentum or that score.
But they're bringing it back, Butch, as a penalty. What is that, a holding call against Calexico?
Ooh, did not see that, John.
Yeah.
Bummer.
But that looked good from up here. So the Bulldogs with a 2nd and long now from the 19-yard line. And Montejano, Pradis finds an open hole and takes it close to the 10-yard line to about the 11.
And that was number 26 on number 26, Jacob Serrano with the tackle for the Wildcats.
So a 3rd and short, Brink coming up for Calexico with 26 seconds and counting, third quarter, down 42-0, looking to score. They tasted the end zone right now, Zeus Pradis, but they called it back, and so the Bulldogs going to give it another shot. Hurtado, and couldn't get to the first down marker, as he's met right at the line of scrimmage, so 4th and 2.
That was number 22, Jaime Moreno, for the Brawley Wildcats with the tackle.
And so timeout is called, and we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
Whether you're looking to purchase or sell, your next home awaits. Give the Dom team a call. With over 50 years of experience and over 100 years in the Imperial Valley, Andy and Doug can help you find the right home at the right price fast. Visit us online at www.thedomteam.com and let Andrew and Doug find the perfect home for you. Call today, 760-337-8600.
Well, we're back here starting the fourth quarter of play, and the Bulldogs are switching sides with the Wildcats. This is the last league game and the last home game for Calexico for the 22 season. And Brawley has one more game, and I think the Bell game is going to be in Brawley this year, if I'm not mistaken, Butch.
It is.
Yeah. So Brawley has one more league game against the vaunted rival, the Central Spartans, next week. Tomorrow night, it's Central and Imperial, and you can catch that game on the Valley Sports Network with Ron Rubio and Will Torres.
And that's going to be an interesting and good matchup between the Spartans and the Tigers tomorrow night.
Brawley's trying to go to the outside. They went for the...
And he got it. Second effort.
They got it. They went up for it on 4th and down. They got nothing to lose. They get a first down. And it's a first and goal inside the 10.
Great second effort by the running back, Parades. He was met before the first down marker, about 2 yards before, and he was able to, he created contact and was able to keep his legs moving and driving, and was able to get a couple extra yards for the first down.
So first and goal for Calexico, starting here the fourth quarter of play. Robbie Montejano handing off to Zeus Prades, going to the left side, finds room. Does he get it in there? Touched. Well, there's more. We saw this earlier at the JV game with some rough housing.
That's unnecessary.
It is this late in the game. And we didn't see the signal for touchdown, but Zeus Prades kind of went toward the outside from 9 yards out from the handoff from Robbie Montejano.
The Bulldogs are frustrated, John, and rightfully so. They haven't played well, but you have to keep your composure. You cannot allow that to happen in this game. You play fair, you play with integrity, you play with sportsmanship, and that's what you teach these kids at a young age. So they got to keep their composure and not, allow this to happen.
So we saw the same. I saw the same thing during the JV game. And personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct against Calexico, and they've got the numbers. We can't hear what the numbers are. And he's ejected. Looks like 51. And so wow. So they're ejected and they can't play next week. I think that's what the rule is.
Kidding me?
No, I think once the CIF changed that rule on sportsmanship, unless I'm corrected otherwise, but once you're ejected, then you don't play the ensuing game. So
there's consequences when you act like that.
Yeah, so
it's confirmed.
Will Torres, former referee and founder of VSN, says it's next week. You don't play. And I'm not sure if Brawley lost a player.
They're discussing that.
So the similar incident happened at the JV game earlier today. Calexico, and then you saw the flags flying like confetti, literally. One referee throws it, then the other, and you see, and they get bird's eye view of exactly what was going on. So we have another unsportsmanlike conduct, Calexico. He's out of the game. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Brawley. He's out of the game. And the penalty's offset. Touchdown, Calexico. And we'll be back, not yet, as we see for the extra point. So Luis Martinez, I believe, will be going for the point after. So Calexico scores early in the fourth quarter with 11-13. Now it's 42-6 as they try for the point after. And Luis Martinez. And holding the ball for Calexico, Benjamin Rodriguez. Bad snap. Fire. He finds a man. And just like that, Andrew Rivera with a 2-point conversion, bringing out 42-8. Bad snap. The holder looks for a receiver in the end zone and finds Andrew Rivera.
You said it right. Fire, fire.
That's what we say.
Yeah.
So unless they go to the CIF office with a parent or coach and state their case for why they should be unsuspended, it is approved by the CIF office, and it's usually something that you cannot appeal. So we'll be back with more in a minute on the Valley Sports Network.
$11-13 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Brawley Wildcats 42, Calexico Bulldogs 8. It'll be an interesting 11 minutes here to see what these Bulldogs are capable of doing, whether they get stops or they give up and just roll over. It's critical, like I mentioned. They're playing not only for this game but into the next game. You want to end on a positive note and get that ball back and hopefully get another score.
The pooch kick from Luis Martinez.
And Brawley Wildcats they're having their backups or their second string in the game and giving them a lot of playing time so they could get some what do you call it? Some experience. So we'll see what happens here. Interesting to see what Brawley's able to do if they're able to move the ball with their sophomore quarterback, number 18, Matthew Gutierrez.
So Matthew Gutierrez, only a sophomore, coming into this game with 10:44 and counting in the fourth quarter. 42-8, the Brawley Wildcats on top. And that's riding the handoff there to number 20, Zane Richards.
And Andrew Pasarava with the tackle there.
And looking at the schedule for tomorrow, not only do you have Central at Imperial, we have some interesting games in the Desert League with Hopeville at Vincent Memorial and Calapat at Maranatha Christian and Palo Verde at Southwest. So the one that would be interesting is the Hopeville Vincent. That's a pretty good matchup. Penalty flag is against Brawley. It's moving back. So one game tomorrow on VSN. Hopefully we'd like to do two, but I'd like to shout out to my tech guy who's in Mexico, Jose Alejos, and my cameraman who couldn't make it tonight, Luis Panchito Garcia. So hopefully they'll be here next week for the Vincent and Calexico Battle for the Border. That game will be played at Central. Good extra effort for the Brawley quarterback.
And number 56, Naciel Gastelum with the tackle. That was not only him, but he also had a couple guys on that tackle.
So Matthew Gutierrez is the field general now here for the Brawley Wildcats as they're way back at their 20-yard line on a 3rd and looks like 20 or 18. And movement on the line. And that's a false start.
In the offense.
So it'll be a 3rd and 23. (42-8). Brawley here with 8 minutes, 10 seconds, with the clock ticking. And Brawley coming out of their huddle to see what they can make happen on a 3rd and 23 with Matthew Gutierrez, doubles. There's movement that looked like offsides on the Bulldogs.
That was on number 23. The ball right in front of him.
It didn't move. Ball didn't move at all.
Yeah, but he did.
So that'll give Brawley some needed 5 yards. So 7:20 and counting. Handoff to number 24, runs right into the tackler. That's Gilbert Corrales. And number 56 there assisting on the stop. That is Misael Gastelum.
And number 23 as well. We don't have him on the roster. Maybe a JV.
Probably a JV coming up.
Yeah.
So
he was in there.
Second time Tanner Carranza will be punting for the Wildcats.
Interesting to see what kind of punt he does. He's been punting the ball real well.
Oh, he's an excellent punter. He spirals it and it goes 50, 60 yards.
I don't know if he's as good as the kid from Imperial. Have you seen the kid from Imperial punt?
Yeah.
He's the best in our league.
And that takes a Bulldog bounce, and it'll be fielded at the Wildcat 38-yard line. Tonight's game is brought to you by Grasso's, an Imperial Valley tradition since 1955. Family owned and operated, located in El Centro on West Main. Grasso's is open Wednesday through Sunday. Order to go or come in for that Italian dining experience. By Imperial Printers. What can we print for you today? Check us out at 430 West Main in El Centro. And by Intercare. Since 1970, when it comes to healthcare, Intercare is here to help with locations throughout the Imperial Valley, formerly Clínicas de Salud del Pueblo. Intercare, improving the health and wellness of the community. So 1st and 10 for Calexico. Robbie Montejano now in the shotgun. And Zeus Prades right there in the backfield with 5.5 minutes to go. Prades will get the head. No, Montejano keeps it. And undecisive of where he's going to go, but looked like he had some potential there to move the ball.
It's that timing, John, that happens at practice. That by doing the repetition, he obviously been practicing with the JV, so he doesn't have that continuity with Bradley. So it's learning. It's he's got to improvise right. When the ball snapped to him, so it's just practice. That's just practice that he has to do with his running backs.
So 2nd and 10 from the 39. Montejano de Prades finds a big hole, bounces off a would-be tackler, and gets a first down, gaining 12 yards for Zeus Prades. And can you tell who brought him down, Butch?
It was number 44. Number 44, which is Brody Van Diver. He actually took a hit because Prades dropped his shoulder and was able to deliver a hit. But good job by Van Diver to hold him down and tackle him. I had my son who plays a 12-year-old who plays a linebacker for 760 Elite, and he's trying to teach my kid, which is 9-year-old, about tackling. He says, "Get your arms around him and hold on for dear life." So That's something
that's good advice. So, I was talking to some Bibi La Rosa earlier today, and Bibi's been coming to these games for years. He's in his early 80s class of 1960, and I remember one JV year where we had Coach Judson Hickman, who came in late, and we didn't really have a head coach. And after the second game of the season, he brings us all on a Friday practice, and he assigns us a player or a fellow teammate, Montejano, trying to make something happen, and is gang tackled out of bounds after picking up about 3 yards. But he pits us with one of our teammates, and we run drill after drill after drill till it got to a point where we were throwing blows with each other. We had the uniform on, but he wanted to see a mean streak come out of his players. And that was the only Friday practice we had as JV players. But I remember that, and I went up against Eddie Rascon. Eddie Rascon was a sculptor now. He made the monument for nice. Gutierrez, not for Gutierrez, but for Rojas and Willis Ward. But we were just throwing blows and kicking and biting and whatever we could do. So number 25 for the Bulldogs, that's Damian Hurtado trying to take it up the field.
John, this football game is a tough sport.
Oh, yeah. But it's mental.
Yes, it creates character, it creates grit, it creates toughness. You have to be able to be mentally tough to play this sport. Not everybody could play it, and it's physical. It's unfortunately violent, but it's football. That's why we enjoy watching it. We enjoy playing it. Obviously, you have the proper technique that you're taught, tackling, get your head out the way, tackle with your shoulder pads. But one advice that I could give to any young kid that wants to play football, wrestle.
Right.
Wrestling is a great fundamental way of how to tackle. My son enjoys doing it, and I see the benefit that it has, for this game when it comes to tackling.
First down from Robbie Montejano on a keeper with 1:22 to go. No, I remember those days of on our JV, and your Uncle Gil one time we were scrimmaging the varsity, and right nice there. Pass. Is that a touchdown? Fumbles the ball, but he's already down.
He's down at the 1 yard line.
And that's Benjamin Rodriguez. Gets it at the 1 and gets a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs with 1 minute to go.
Robert Montejano was able to sit in the pocket, read the defense, saw an open receiver, and delivered a strike to him. Great job by Montejano.
But there's penalty flags. So, but the meanness I'm talking about, and I'm going back to my JV, and your Uncle Gil was running a crossing route, and Danny Wallace threw it right at him, and in the middle of traffic, and Henry Castro was on the senior varsity, just an outstanding all-league linebacker, just
nailed it.
Oh, my God. I didn't think Nick Gill was going to get up.
Hey, but Gill's a basketball player, isn't he?
Right, that's why he was a good receiver, but he was a good receiver. Usually your basketball players are your best receivers because they can jump, and he was up in his vertical leap was pretty high that day. But, man, the headhunter just came looking for him. Under 10 seconds to go, 42-8. Brawley, we'll see if Calexico can do anything. This is the last play of the game. Can they get the ball off? They do. And nothing there, so that'll end 42-8 in favor of the Brawley Wildcats. And we'll be back with more in a minute and giving you the player of the game after these messages.
out. Your publicly owned Imperial Irrigation District proudly delivers low-cost, reliable energy service to its customers in the Imperial and Coachella Valleys. When compared to other power providers, IID's residential, commercial, and governmental customers all save up to 50% on their monthly energy bills. That's because IID is committed to more than just delivering power. IID is committed to you. IID, where customers always come first.
Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I forgot to mention our good friend Luis Daniel Sandoval from Pinky's Hot Dogs. And he was out here tonight selling some delicious hot dogs for all you folks. Pinky's Hot Dogs is usually his truck is parked at the shopping center there and off of Cole Road and Meadows. And delicious hot dogs. Order the Johnny Mo, which is mustard, onions, and chili beans. It's a classic hot. You can add whatever you want, but it's a basic classic. So thank you, Pinky's Hot Dogs, for serving your delicious hot dogs outside the stadium tonight. Well, Butch, let's take a look at this. Let's talk a little bit about this game tonight. The Wildcats were just dominating tonight. The Bulldogs sputtered it a little late, but they scored. But it was all Ethan Gutierrez, his receivers, his line, his defense. It was all happening tonight. And Brawley looks like they're confident to go into the Bell game. They're hosting it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but next week against the Central Spartans, who are tomorrow playing the Imperial Tigers at Imperial, I believe. And whatever the outcome of that game is also probably going to be a very close game like Brawley and Imperial the week before. So let's talk about your analysis of this game tonight.
The quarterback position, John, it's a big position. It's huge. You have to have someone who leads, who wants it, who wants that spotlight, who wants to lead their team and create plays. Ethan Gutierrez did an outstanding job for his team, put him in a position to be successful or to win. He distributed the ball to multiple receivers, not just one receiver, was cool, collective, needed a run. He did that when he needed to, threw the ball well down the field, read the defense, got the ball out of his hands quick, and I think that was, a big factor to their success. On the other side of the football field, Sean Torres didn't do well. He did not perform. He didn't seem like he wanted. You have to have a leader. You have to have somebody that is fired up when your team is not playing well. You can't just give that body language that you're not doing well. Oh, it's over. You got to keep on fighting and figure out a way to create offensive, yards. That's the bottom line. Is have to have a leader playing that position and have to distribute the ball and do what's needed to drive down the field and produce yards. That's bottom line.
That's exactly right. And Calexico next week faces a tough Vincent Memorial team for the battle for the border. We saw some pretty good things out of Robbie Montejano. We saw him throw. He
wanted to come in there. He wanted the ball.
He was hungry.
Yes, you could tell that difference when on the field. It shows. So I just wish them success next week. Get back to the practice field and keep working on those little things that will pay dividends at the end of the game.
Let's talk about the Burgers and Beer offensive player of the game tonight. What did you think, Butch?
I thought, Mekhi Washington had an outstanding game catching the ball. Got over the top of the defense for the Bulldogs and was able to score, made an outstanding catch. He played well. Congratulations to Mekhi Washington, number 5.
And on the El Centro PD player of the game, what do you think on defense?
I think stats will show who did well, and I think their leading tackler for the night was junior number 31, Chris Camilo. He's an outstanding tackler. I think the Brawley Wildcats have 4 outstanding tacklers that play linebacker, and I'm curious to see how they're going to do next week against the Central running game, Charlie Sullivan. So it's going to be a good matchup, and it's going to be exciting. They're going to have to, stop the pass from Damian Rodriguez and his outstanding receiver. So it's going to be a good matchup. But nonetheless, Chris Camillo, outstanding play tonight. Congratulations, and congratulations to your team.
Well, thank you, Butch Morales. I'd like to thank all our viewers tonight and our halftime guest, Amanda Rose Gerardo Briseño, head girls basketball coach for Calexico High School and PE teacher at Calexico High School. I'd like to thank our program director, Will Torres, Joaquin Matus, our tech, and Saul Peña on the camera. And hopefully we see Jose Alejos, Panchito Garcia, and Vic Carrillo next week. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Arctic Air, Imperial Valley College, El Centro Police Department, the Dom Team, Ojeda Industries, Havens Landscaping, Intercare, Grasso's, Esqued Realty, Burgers and Beer, CR&R Incorporated, Ivy Welding and Mechanical, Jesus Cachu Escobar, Supervisor District 1, Marianne Valenzuela Fenley, Sanders, State Farm Insurance, Sanders Incorporated Architecture and Engineering, Reach Medical Response Service, the IID, Letterman and Bros, Top Notch Barbershop, Driscoll's, RDO Equipment, Johnny's Burritos, Hart Insurance, the Town Pump, and Ray Castillo, County Supervisor. Join us next week from the Chocolate Mountains to the Sea of Cortez, all along the border on a Friday night when the Valley Sports Network travels to Central to host for Vincent Memorial and Calexico to play for the Battle of the Border. And you can catch tomorrow night Will Torres and Ron Rubio at the Central Imperial game. Again, tonight's final score, Brawley 42, Calexico 8. For Vic Carrillo and Butch Morales, this is John Moreno of Bulldog Media, bringing you live coverage of Imperial Valley football, saying good night on VSN.